Let's bring in our good pal, Ted Thatcher. He is joining us remote. Ted is the president of Bright Lake Wealth Management. Ted, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. Kick off the broadcast for Taking Stock on this wild Thursday. What is your take on what we've seen across the tape here the last few days? We're really seeing that rotation away from tech and discretionary. What do you see, Ted?
You know, JD, really, you're right. I mean, exciting, concerning, a lot of negative pressure on the markets right now. The market is just looking anywhere for some stability, to find some footing, and it's just not getting it. I mean, when we think about the news headlines of about a week and a half ago, it was Fed rates. This last Friday, it was the metals selling off. And of course, the story about software continuing to sell down on valuations continues. All of this despite a lot of, I would say, normal, solid economic data. So while the data points might be there for a reasonably stable discussion, the headlines just aren't leading us there. The markets, you mentioned the VIX, the volatility is here. And I think that is the story that I see in the markets right now. A lot of uncertainty and expectations that haven't found their footing yet.
Ted, you mentioned all things considered, maybe better than to be feared economic data. How about the slate of earnings? Because here we are, fresh off of Alphabet yesterday. By all things considered, they crushed it on earnings. They were more than expected to double their AI spend from 2025 to 2026. Yet we saw downward pressure on the stock. We await the team from Amazon the next little bit. What have you made of earnings season that hasn't really translated into a lot of bullish optimism for investors?
Not yet. I will say personally, I am actually quite bullish on Google. I do think that the fundamental earnings positivity that we see is sort of one of the stabilizing factors in that Mag 7 category. But the reason I'm bullish on Google specifically is just because of the AI story there. So much of the AI story has been driven on how performant models have been. But this year, there's more of that discussion of whether they're going to turn the profit. But before we get so focused just on profits for the Mag 7 and the mega cap AI investors, I think we have to say who is in a position to be able to win specifically with distribution. And to your point about Google's good earnings, I think they're in a perfect position to take advantage of the incredible distribution they have with over 230 million paid subscribers to Google One services, which of course they're going to put Gemini right in front of all of them.
Yeah, Ted, I don't know if you're prepared to talk about Amazon. Totally okay if not. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but quickly, if you can, Amazon was the big underperformer in 2025, at least for the Magnificent Seven tech stocks. What's on your radar to give you some sense of what you'll be paying attention to as they report in the next few minutes?
It's a great question. And really, when I'm looking at with Amazon is twofold. I actually am really bullish on Amazon in 2026, and I'll explain why. You know, so much of Amazon's growth has actually come from, of course, the AWS web services side. But in Amazon specifically, when it comes to AI and when it comes to jobs, I think they're one of the first companies that might actually reach that singularity where they actually have more robotic employees than physical humans. You know, about 1.5 million people work at Amazon now. I think the amount of robotics they have is north of $1.1 million today. And so there's two sides of this that I'm seeing. Of course, we all love to talk about the AI story on the software side, but Amazon specifically, I think, is able to translate the performance and growth in AI on the robotics and turn that into ROI too. I'm not sure if we'll see it yet in their earnings, but I do expect that to be a driver of growth for them in 2026.
All right, that's Ted Thatcher. He is the president of Bright Lake Wealth Management. Ted, next time we do this, come visit us down here at the big board. It's great to have you kicking off the show. We'll talk with you again soon.